Hello, hi, and welcome to EmpathicFire. I am your reader, Jay. These are going to be general messages for the sign of Scorpio in the month of June 2019. Hello, Scorpio. What's going on? How are you guys doing? I hope you guys are doing well. Oh, boy. All right, guys. Halfway mark through the year. Let's celebrate, huh? I don't know about you, but I'm, like, really excited to progress through 2019. But maybe you're enjoying your 2019. I mean, I'm not, like, not enjoying my 2019, but it's just, like, I don't want to bore you with what the hell's going on with me. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're enjoying June. Whatever you're doing, I hope it's an amazing time, okay? All right, guys. Wow. And then I dropped like half the deck on the floor. So give me a second. I'll be right back. Okay, Scorpio. There's like all these cards that fell out. I'm not even going to take a look at them. But I will mention to you that during your meditation and then when I was laying out the cards, there were a lot of spillages. There was like a lot of like messy energy, I want to say. Messy, like, blah, like spurting energy. So maybe that means something to you guys. Anyway, I have shuffled off camera. That is your main spread there. I will shuffle now on camera for your outcome and your overall energy. Once all the cards are out and they're lying face up on the table, that's when the reading begins. You can look for the timestamp in the description box below if you want to jump ahead. That's why it's there. Use it at your leisure. Also down there is the information you need if you want to get a personal reading with me. As I announced over the past 2 months or so, I've recently updated that. So now there are 3 different, not types, but 3 sizes of readings that you can choose from. The mini, the regular, and the extended. So if you want to get a personal with me, you just email me which one you want. You send the payment through PayPal. I send you back your video through a private video link through YouTube, and then you can go ahead and watch it as many times as you want for as long as you want. It's there until you stop looking at it, or or YouTube in 50 years they delete it. Anyway, so there's that. And if you have any questions that you want to clarify what the readings are about, or what you can expect or anything like that, just feel free to email me and I'll answer your questions, okay? And just to announce it, because I'm doing it in all the readings, this lovely bracelet that I'm wearing right here was given to me by a client and a subscriber, Vanessa. So shout out to Vanessa for giving me such a nice gift. I really do appreciate it. All right, Scorpio, let's find out what your outcome is. Why am I talking that way? I don't know. Show me the outcome for Scorpio in June 2019. Scorpio's outcome in June 2019. Please show me. See, it feels like junky or something. The deck. Wow. 2? No, more than 2. So absolutely not. No way. We cannot exceed that many cards on the table. Bottom of the deck is the overall. The crystal's in the way. I need to get a bigger desk or a bigger table. And there's that. Let's go ahead and flip everything that came face down. Well, look at you. And then that, of course. That makes sense. Just energetically, this whole thing makes sense. This is a lot of, is what I feel. But I could be wrong. But, I don't call myself EmpathicFire for nothing. All right, guys, let's figure out what's going on. Please show me where Scorpio is in June 2019. Please show me Scorpio in June 2019. Please show me. Okay. Whew. All right, guys, coming into June 2019, you come in with the Lover's card. Okay, so major arcana card for Gemini. So some of you might have a Gemini in your life of significance, but you don't have to. But to try and deny that this reading today isn't going to involve some union or some partnership or some relationship, regardless of the type it is, romantic, friends, family, whatever, would be silly. There's no way to deny. I can just feel it that we're going to talk about you plus someone else, Scorpio. And like I said, it can be more than romance. I know a lot of people come to tarot looking to think or to find out things about their love lives or things about partners or potential partners, and that will apply to some of you. But if you're not here for that, if you're just like, I want to know about my business partner, apply it this way. But it is the lovers. It is a very romantic type depiction. But with it showing up here, what I feel for you, Scorpio, is that there is trouble in the waters. There is some type of discrepancy. Well, sure, discrepancy. But it's not smooth sailing, okay? Even though there's this lovely embrace between these two characters, as you can see, they come from different worlds. Yeah, they're coming from different stages or different phases in their lives. One's alive, one's a zombie. By the way, this is the zombie tarot deck, so thematically, it's going to apply. Because it has applied in like every single reading, thematically, this whole zombie apocalypse thing has like given me something in terms of theme or overall imagery. But there's a difference between these two people. So you might be with a partner, again, regardless of any type that it is, or in a relationship, or having, even if it's not a relationship amongst equals, this could be even a relationship I'm sensing with like, you know, an older sibling and a younger sibling, or you and your child. Like there can be considerable, like, and that's kind of what I'm indicating here with one of them being human and one of them being a zombie. There is a considerable difference between you and whoever you're thinking about at this moment, okay? But there is this link between you, obviously. Look at the damn artwork, okay? That is undeniable. Now, some of you are thinking of this in terms of, like I just spoke about, we are related to each other. That's my brother, that's my uncle, that's my daughter, whoever. It's unmistakable that you guys have a bond. Others of you, you do feel that romantic pang in your heart, and you're like, oh my god, they're my soulmate. And this can be sometimes considered one of the soulmate cards in the tarot. If you know my channel, if you know me, I don't throw that word around lightly, but if you want to pick it up and use it, you may do so. It's your life. You know your story better than I do. So regardless of the type of relationship you're dealing with, Scorpio, you feel this connection with this person. But it's troublesome. It's so troublesome. Like, why is it troublesome? Again, besides them being different, and there's nothing wrong with being different, or there's nothing wrong with sort of being opposites or somehow, you know, distant from each other. There is a separation, or there is trouble getting you two together, or there's trouble because you're apart, something like that. I really do think it's because there is a similarity in terms of how you vibe with this person, energetically, personalities, you guys gel, all this other kind of stuff, but maybe your lifestyles are too different, maybe your backgrounds are different, maybe your perspective, your political beliefs are different, and it makes it hard for you guys to have, you know, conversations or interactions in those realms. That could be like just with business partners. We have a great product that we've, you know, invented together, or where we have this wonderful dynamic idea for our company, but we have different ways of approaching it. It can go any way, guys. It's a general reading. But the trouble here is, if you look at the zombie, she's holding his heart. Now, I don't know how much living a human being can do without their heart being in their chest. Okay? So some of you, especially those who are having this fall into the romantic sector, you might feel, or your potential partner, your crush, whoever, feels like someone has their heart in the other one's hand. And that involves a certain amount of control, which also involves a certain amount of vulnerability. Or in the case of these two star-crossed lovers, it involves that man dying. Now, I'm not trying to say that being with you or you being with them equals death. That's not what I'm saying. But it would involve some type of change in their state of being. If I'm going to be with you, I can't do this anymore. If I'm going to be with you, or if we continue this relationship, I'm losing something over here, or I'm going to lose this part of myself, or at least that's someone's perception. Could be yours, could be the other person. I'm not really getting this heavy on either side, Scorpio side or the other person. And again, this particular track that I'm on right now is a little bit heavier with those who are here for the romantic relationship portion, but it can still apply to other relationships in your life, okay? But the one who holds the heart, whether that's you or the other person, Scorpio, the other person perceives it as they have the upper hand. They have the power in this relationship. They have the ability to, you know, be gentle with that heart, take care of it, you know, nurture it and treat it like the very vital organ that it is, or they have the ability to crush it in their hand, throw it on the ground, set it on fire, kick it out the window, whatever. So there's a fear here for someone to give their heart to another person, or now that their heart is already out of their chest, oh shit, what are you going to do with my heart now that you have it? So there's a lot of trouble in the water. I think I said that with this position for you, Scorpio. I still kind of like it because I don't see in the long run that the man is super concerned about where his heart is. Like, or maybe you need some reassurance here, but I feel it takes a lot of trust for that human male to allow that zombie female to take his heart out of his chest. He has to trust, he has to be willing, he has to be fearless that once my heart's out of my chest, I'm still going to be able to be with her, or we're still going to be able to move forward and in partnership or whatever. And there's just like this, there's a caution here, but I feel that it's not that it's not, thank you. It's not that this fear or this caution is unfounded. I just think it's really subjective. It's really coming from a place of insecurity, okay? Air sign energy, perhaps overthinking, since Gemini is an air sign, so perhaps overthinking, being plagued, you know, nice little pun there on the zombie theme, but being plagued with some type of doubt or some type of feeling of inadequacy. Wow. Okay. Listen, you're all on different tracks here, so I can't tell you where these things are falling, but I hope it makes sense to you. Someone, maybe you, Scorpio, but it could be the other person, just lacks a bit of confidence. The attraction is there, the camaraderie is there, the understanding, the mutuality between the two of you is there, the merging of souls on some of your guys' experience. It's a merging of souls, you know, not half souls, by the way. If some of you are out here thinking, yes, it's my soulmate, he completes me, she completes me. Let me tell you something. Do not think that you can enter a soulmate relationship as half a person. That's not how that shit works, in my opinion. This is like the one thing I'm a stickler about in terms of soulmates. Nobody is half a damn soul. You're one person, you're one soul. When you come together, two makes one. Two makes one. What is that damn stupid Spice Girls song? When two become one. Okay, they don't say when halves become one. They say when two become one. So that's for somebody, just to give you a little swift kick up the butt. You're not half a damn person. You're not half a soul. You're a whole soul. And if you don't believe that, don't enter into union. Boom. I got a little ballsy with everybody here. So anyway, what was I saying? Shit, I knocked that thought right out of my head. Oh yeah, so coming into union, like for some of you, this is a blending of souls. This is a meeting of two whole souls. That's how you should think of it. If you don't think about it, pump the brakes, reevaluate, reframe your thinking, and then you go in thinking, I am a whole soul, Jay. Perfect. Now you should join, okay? So it's really intense. Your attraction to this person, their attraction to you, it's very mutual. It's mutual in the sense of you both feel it. Is it equal? Again, one person believes the other has the upper hand. Maybe the person who does have the upper hand knows that they do. Okay, put it down. Okay, thank you. Sometimes I gotta take a little break because as you can see, I go 100 miles a minute and it all gets kind of discombobulated in my head. Okay, so the person who does not have the upper hand, they feel the connection, right? They're like, yeah, I feel it. but I'm not good enough, or I'm afraid, or whatever their reservation is, they have it. The person who has the upper hand or has the other person's heart in their hand, whatever. I feel this connection. I'm into it. I want it, but where are they? That's how that person is. Where are they? Are they going to show up? I've got their heart, you know. And you're like waiting. Whoever that is, they're like, I got your heart, but I don't see your body, or I don't see you. Oh, God, clean this up. You and this other person both feel the same thing, but your ability to deliver or show up is off. So it's really weird, and it kind of makes sense that it came in this card, the Lover's card, which by extension associates with Gemini. Gemini is one of the signs of duality, and Scorpio, you're not one of those signs, so let me explain it to you a little bit. The signs of duality, I feel, have a higher tendency, a higher potentiality, and a higher effectiveness when they present contradictions. They live in contradictions sometimes. They excel under contrary terms or circumstances, and it can boggle the mind of people that are not of duality. So Gemini, Libra, Pisces. There's another one that I sometimes consider, but those are the main three of duality, right? And so this makes sense to me that you both at the same time desire union, desire to be closer together, desire to, combine your forces and your powers for good or evil, whatever you're doing. Hopefully not for evil, but you know what I mean, just for dramatic sake, I'm saying that. But whatever union you wish to have with this other person, you both want it and don't want it. Or you both want it, but then you're not seeing how to make it happen. So you're like mirrors of each other. And so the desire to want and the desire to maybe not exist at the very same time. That's that duality. That's that contradiction in terms. How can you want it and not want it? How can you love it but hate it? How can you, want to go out and have a party or hang out with friends tonight and party tonight, but you also are like, but I would love some sleepy time tea, a little bit of my Kindle, and a little bit of, 9 hours of sleep. How can you desire contradictory things at the same time? The signs of duality know about it. If you have a Gemini, a Libra, or a Pisces around you that's a friend, ask them. So do you often find yourself doing this and then feeling that way and da-da-da? And they will tell you, yes, I do. I do it all the time. It's a part of my daily life. It's a part of my daily routine. I have not met one of those signs yet that doesn't oscillate almost at breakneck speed between yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. It's crazy. As a fixed sign, as a fellow fixed sign, I think this would really trip you up. And this is really a mostly uncomfortable position to be in because you're usually so, resolute, Scorpio. You're usually, all right, I'm done with this. Or, okay, I'm ready to do that. And then you don't turn back, right? There's really, especially with a Scorpio, the revolving door does not readily exist in a Scorpio's life. But there's a potential for that there. So again, I'm feeling like for some it might be volatile relationships or relationships that are so passionate when you come together, it's like a mini explosion. So you have to back off from them. And again, that can be romantic, that can be your family, it doesn't matter, okay? All right, so wow, what a starting point. What else is going on? Well, shit. You're having a time with it. So, right? Wow, let me see. That's what you need, but this is what you do, what you're doing. Got it. 9 of Swords right across from you. So continued air sign energy. So as you can see, this is a card of infirmary. Is this you, directly after your heart was taken from you or the other person? You're laid up in bed. Oh my God, who is that person? Or, oh my God, what just happened to me? What was that conversation? What was that date? What was that business meeting like? Wow, like your socks are knocked off, or you're knocked off your game, and now you're in this recovery period. Now, that's not traditionally what the Nine of Swords is about. The Nine of Swords is traditionally about worry, anxiety, and I feel that is here too. But I feel that you're in this recouping phase, and you've been here for a minute, Scorpio. This is not some outpatient ward. This guy didn't just show up in the ER 5 hours ago. He's been in here, he's been in this hospital bed for a minute. Now, let me take a look here. Okay, hello. I get it. So remember how I said here, the ripping of the heart, taking that heart out of that man's chest? I don't think, anyway, doesn't matter. The zombie lady took that heart out of that guy's chest. And if you're familiar with zombie lore or, anything related to zombies, you kind of know that if a zombie puts their hands on you, they eat your brain, they eat your flesh, they do whatever, you turn into one of them, right? That's usually how it goes with zombie things. They bite you, they do something to you, you die, and then you become one of them, okay? Look at this guy's arm, the one that's bandaged up there, and the fingers. What's going on, my friends? Now that your heart has been ripped out, or whoever's heart has been ripped out, in a good way, in a bad way, I'm not sure. There's this slow change that you can see. It's not in the rest of his body. It's really just isolated to his hand. So it's very slow, okay? Despite this being the swords. And maybe that's it. It's sort of, oh, and she's about to no. I thought she was going to amputate it. No, she's not amputating it. But this idea of like slow change or agonizing over the event that has happened and like prolonging, or not prolonging, what do you call that? Stalling the change, right? The bandage, you could also maybe think of it as a tourniquet. And why do we use a tourniquet? To cut off the supply, to cut off circulation, to stop something from flowing. So you're stopped. You're stopped up. They're stopped up. The situation is stopped up. There is something that is on hold. There's something that is stalled. And in the interim, look at the guy's face. Worried. Can't look at the nurse. Doesn't want to make eye contact with the nurse. So, are you being a recluse? Are they being a recluse? Are you both like going to your corners for the interim round before you come back out? Round 2, there's a rest period here, and that's also kind of thematic with the scene in a hospital. So, are some of you in a hospital? Have some of you had to take a break because, dealing with this person or dealing with the situation stressed you out? Maybe some of you with swords, you need a mental break. So maybe some of you are in a rehab or something like that, or a under psychiatric treatment, something like that. Some of you, it's like really heavy, really serious. But not for most of you. Many of you, it's just like, I'm gonna go home straight after work, and your friends are like, you haven't gone out for like 2 weeks. Like, we usually go to happy hour on Thursdays, and you're like, I can't. My heart got ripped out, and I'm really like not recovered just yet. So I'll see you guys later. Bye. So Scorpio, while you're in your shell, even though you don't have a shell, you have an exoskeleton as a scorpion, but you're keeping to yourself, because don't scorpions, like, don't they live in like under the sand? Like they're not like usually out in the open. They're usually hidden away. So while you're hidden away, you're thinking about this. Like, this guy is definitely thinking about something. He's not just, seated. Seated is the word I want. No. Yeah. Seated? Who is in my brain? That is not English, my friend. This guy is seated on this bed. He's not just like wondering about like what he's going to get at the grocery store tomorrow. He's like really perplexed and really flummoxed. Look at me. Now who's in my head with these words? Over his situation. Agonizing over it. Being super worried about it. Now, this contraption on the head, is there anything I can get from that? I don't know what you would use that for. I don't have a lot of medical knowledge, especially of medicine in the 40s. But yeah, it's like potentially because now I see her hand is on the top of his head and she's got that needle in her other hand. So she might be forcing him, the nurses may be forcing him to look at something that he doesn't want to look at or think of something. So maybe that's what's going on, is even in your solitude, even while you're hidden away, going home straight after work, spending weekends in, or, you know, not really socializing as much as you normally do. Not a total hermit. I'm not feeling like you're just, you know, inside your house growing a beard that's 5 feet long or anything like that. But while you're by yourself in these quiet moments, there's a lot of reflection. There's a lot of facing of fears, facing of insecurity, facing of whatever you're anxious about, whatever you're agonizing about. Because again, Nine of Swords can talk about what you're agonizing over, what you cannot get out of your head. Maybe, again, across from the Lovers, it's that person. The connection you have, the time you spent together, the things you've said, the things you want to say. Because for some of you, this is a separation. I was talking about that a little bit at the top. There's some type of separation, distance, scheduling. You don't speak to them, they don't speak to you, whatever. And that distance is plaguing you. That separation gives you anxiety. What am I going to do? How can I get over this? How can I get back and talk to them? Or how are, you know, whatever. And there's a lot of consideration of what can I do here? How can this be fixed? You don't want to fucking be here. I don't know why I had to casually drop it then, but truly, maybe some of you feel that way. Like, I'm so fucking tired of sitting in my apartment, sitting in my house, you know, sitting in my car, and like this person pops into my head. I'm so sick of this shit. I'm over it. Or I'm so sick of not being able to reconnect. I'm so sick that we haven't had the time that we could meet up together. Again, it could just be scheduling. Maybe you guys are having like some, what did I say, star-crossed lovers. Like, it could be distance. You live in New York, or you live on the East Coast, they live on the West Coast. You live in Germany, they live in Singapore. Who knows? And so you're just like, I'm so sick of this, but it's all you can think about. It's all that's in the forefront of your mind. That sucks. Sorry about it. Okay, wow, very quick. I usually don't have that happen so quickly. All right, so what's the remedy to all of this? Because I did say before we traveled over here, or at least I said in my head, this is what you need. The basis, the base, the foundation. What's underneath you is what you need. Temperance. Major Arcana card for Sagittarius. So some of you may be dealing with a Sagittarius, but you know the rules. You don't have to be. Now, what does that mean? You need, or the situation needs, some type of balance. Some type of balance between head and heart, emotions and logic, some balance between time and effort. You're doing too much, they're doing too much, you're overthinking, they're overthinking, whatever. Everybody just needs to take a chill pill. Let's get to a calm place of zen. And when you get that balance between, again, emotions and logic, you get some type of healing. Now, thank you, because I was going to refer to the traditional artwork of the Temperance card, which, if you're familiar with the traditional tarot, shows an angel dipping a toe in the lake, you know, balancing the contents between these two chalices, blah, blah, blah. And that's all supposed to mean healing. That's very, like, old-fashioned imagery. Here we get it through that damn needle, that syringe, okay? Which can be fearful or an object that strikes fear into some people's hearts. But in this deck, and of course coming right beneath your Nine of Swords, that hospital scene, we think of hospitals, we think of doctors and nurses as people that heal us. And by extension, this syringe is again pointing to that. Hospitals, doctors, nurses, therapists, or if you don't want to go that route, you can go the route of holistic healing. You can go the route of yogis, or you know, if you want to go into this route, the esoteric space, mediums, psychics, tarot readers, whatever. There is an instrumentation involved that either you need to get involved in, or the other person does, or you both do. Because again, I feel you're mostly mirroring each other. Everything that I'm saying to you, Scorpio, I could probably say to them, whoever they are. Okay. So there needs to be some very, very precise, because that's the other thing with syringes and needles and all that good stuff. It needs to be precise. If you get blood drawn, it has to be precise. They've got to, you know, they've got to tourniquet, again, put a tourniquet around your arm. They got to poke it in at the right angle as to not make your vein collapse and allow the syringe to fill up with too much air. Like, it is a very precise act to take blood or to give an injection, okay? So whatever efforts you need to do or they need to do, you both need to do, it has to be precise. That's the idea of temperance. It has to be precise. It has to be measured, has to be considered, and it has to be, in this case, I feel, from a place of God, why do I have to say this word, purity? That's such a subjective and kind of icky word. Like, it's kind of like, I think it's like a very sentimental, like hallmarky word, purity. Like, I would never use it in sincerity in my real life, purity. But anyway, that's what I'm feeling, is like purity, because that then goes back to the traditional artwork of the Temperance card, where the angel is sticking one toe in the water. Purity, okay? So what am I trying to say? From an honest place. If you don't want union, some of you might not. I feel that's maybe about 10 to 15% of you. Maybe you don't want union with this person, or you know, honestly, now is not the time. That's also indicated with temperance, timing. But if you don't want it now, or you don't want it at all, this doesn't apply to you. If you do, it has to come from a place of honesty, purity, sincerity, and a place of generosity. If you haven't been giving, or they haven't been giving to the situation, they haven't been making efforts, or you haven't been making efforts, time to turn that over. That would then be the balancing of your energy. If you've been withheld, a recluse, sitting at home, watching Netflix all by yourself, sitting there with your dog or your parakeet or whatever, and you haven't been engaging with this person or engaging with the world, you've been shut off socially, stop doing that. Even if it's not with this person, go out with your friends to happy hour on Thursday like you used to do. Get back into your routines of normalcy, quote unquote normalcy, and it has to be sincere. Don't do it thinking, okay, now that I've done it, they're just going to pop up in my life, or I'm going to just be ready after one time going out with friends. I'm just going to be ready to go out there and face the world. No, it has to be incremental, has to be honest and sincere, and you have to kind of do it without expecting anything, without expecting a result. You know what I mean? Now, again, the other part of this, before we move on, is the timing. Timing. It's, again, I kind of just said it. It's not going to work. You're not going to come into union. You're not going to be free of this anxiety from one time of getting back into some routine of normalcy, or trying new things, or, you know, stop oversharing and pulling back if that's what you need to do, or being more expressive. You have to, again, strike that very precise balance, and you have to maintain that balance for a while. It's like walking a tightrope. You know, when you walk across a tightrope, the reason it's such a, you know, amazing stunt to witness is because it takes time and patience and balance and strength and all that good stuff. And it spans several feet up on a high wire. It's not really that amazing if the tightrope walker has to cross 3 feet up really high. Like, okay, that's not that cool. Versus 30 feet or 300 feet. Okay, now we're talking. That's a sight to see. So that's what I mean, is there's no rushing this recovery, this stepping out and getting your, you know, your system calibrated and getting the energy calibrated between you and the other person. And yes, here we go. What was I just saying? It has to come from a place of purity, sincerity, honesty, Ace of Swords. That's the other thing you need here. Be honest. Be straight up. Be direct. Now, again, this is not to say it's not a one and done. I had an honest conversation with that person. I sent them an email. I sent them a text. I let them know how I feel. And now we're going to get married next Tuesday. No. You have to work at it, and it has to be something you believe in. There's a lot of fidelity with the Ace of Swords, in my opinion. There's a lot of, what do I mean by fidelity? Like, there's a lot of commitment behind it. Again, it's like, I honestly believe that when I share my thoughts with this person, or my feelings with this person, or I strike up a conversation with anybody. It doesn't matter. It's coming from a place of integrity. It's coming from a place of, I don't ask questions just to fill the air. I'm asking questions because I want to know the answer, right? If you're just having conversations, I don't know why my palm is itching. I don't know if that means something to you guys, but my palm is like really itching. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, I'm not just filling air. Like, I don't have conversations for fodder. Like, this is what I think you need to start thinking about and considering. If you're going to communicate with this person or anybody, don't just do it for lip service. It has to come from this place of, I want to build on something, because that's what the aces are about, right? Seedlings, they're the possibilities in the tarot, or one of the places of possibilities in the tarot, and we build upon them. You plant a seed, you water it, you nurture it with good fertilizer, you put it out in the sun, and then it grows. It's, again, not an overnight process. It takes time. Ooh, 2 images here. So behind it, we see that target. Now, again, I know I just told you, don't have expectations. Don't, just do it because here we go with this itching. Don't just do it because you want an outcome. I'm not saying do whatever you're going to do, or think whatever you're going to think, or whatever, without any expectation. That's not the point. It's more, don't hold on to the expectation, is what I want you to say. You still have a goal. Maybe you want to clear the air. Maybe you want to apologize. Maybe you want them to apologize to you. Whatever. That is the target. I want to apologize for what I said. I want to apologize for what I did. They come to you. Hey, what's up, Scorpio? It's been a while. I want to talk to you. Okay, yeah, this is nice, but I would appreciate an apology. You may have these expectations or these goals, but don't be so hard on it. Like, don't think that, okay, I've apologized, now everything's going to work. Or the person coming to you, don't think that just because you apologize to Scorpio that they're just going to welcome you with open arms. It takes consistent work and effort. It's not, okay, apologies checked off the list, everything's fine, everything's normal now. No, my friends, no. So you can have the expectation, you can have the goal, you can have a target in mind, but just because you hit that target or check that thing off the list, it doesn't mean everything else just falls magically into place. Now, the final point about this card is, look at this. This, I don't know if the other ace, I know the Ace of Pentacles, or Hazards rather, in this deck doesn't have it, but I can't think of the other 2 in this deck. Anyway, you'll notice on that sword, or on that machete, you'll see the 2 hands there, right? Normally, when we see the Ace of Swords, Ace of Wands, Ace of Cups, it's being presented by one entity, one hand, or wherever. It's coming from a source of one. Now, again, it comes right underneath that damn Lover's card, where, if you recall in the beginning, I said you and someone else, you're coming from opposite sides of something, different backgrounds, maybe different ethnicities, different religions, different political backgrounds, different age groups, whatever. You both together have to, at some point, have to talk, have to communicate from a place of honest integrity. You both have to lay all your cards, boom, out on the table, and be honest with one another. Be upfront with one another. The Ace of Swords is about no bullshit, no fluff, no hot air. Everybody here is going to admit their faults. Everybody here is going to talk about their virtues. It's all coming from a place of, if we're going to plant a seed, if we're going to, try and make a new foundation in any realm, romance, business, family, I don't care. If we're going to set down new ground here, everybody has to be on the same page. And I told you up here, you both want to be on the same page. And it's indicated here, it's backed up here with the Ace of Swords as well. You both want to be on the same page. But again, for the moment, for whatever reason, on your side, their side, whoever's side, things are not aligned. In order to get them aligned, or once you start to make efforts to get them aligned, these 2 are here to help you. Temperance, Ace of Swords. All right? Beautiful. Yes. This reading is flowing so well. I wish you guys could know what's going on in my head. Anyway, Scorpio, you have a triplet. Now, if you've been with my channel before, you already know that, but if you're new here, I will explain it to you. I intend to lay 6-card spreads. As you can see, you have a 7-card spread. So a triplet happens when you get 2 cards in one position. it usually makes it, well, it does make this triangular shape, which I call a triplet. It sometimes gives a story that supplements or complements the story that's going on in your 4-card spread, or it's a totally different story. Let's find out together what's going on in your triplet, shall we? Hi. Oh, well, shit. Okay, so this I feel has happened or is happening concurrently with this. I don't think this is upcoming, or I guess it could potentially be, but I'm going to tell you straight up. For some of y'all, divorce of whatever type, of a marriage, of a business partnership, maybe a divorce amongst family members, a divorce, what do you call that? When emancipation between children and parents, right? Someone here, you're in here, obviously, so you're involved here, but this will involve you and other people. Oh, man, not cool. I think we're going up top first, these two. Yes, okay, so, all right, so at some point in this scenario that has, I'm going to feel for most of you, it has happened already or it's happening now. For a few of you, will continue into the future, but I think the high majority of you, like the inception of this triplet was a long time ago. Long time, relative phrasing. That could be a month for some of you. That could be 5 years for others of you. Now, 3 of Swords. Now, you know, if you've been with my channel, I don't jump on this quick. But for some of you, here it is today. It's the way you might be familiar with. Third-party situation. I normally don't jump on that. But because we have had such a heavy romantic angle for many of you, that is what has happened. You have been in a situation where there was another person. It was of a sexual or romantic encounter. Could have been a long-term affair. In some of your, yes, with that 7 of hazards down there, absolutely. Okay, so for some of you, this was like a long-standing affair that really wrecked your life, or, you know, you had the affair and then you wrecked somebody else's life. But the point is, with the 3 of Swords, pain in the heart, aching in the heart, trauma, and just total annihilation of the heart. You know, that thing is being skewered by that steak knife, or that turning knife, rather. We've got the fork taking a piece, and we can assume that the steak knife did the cutting, right? So this was, ooh, and I think I said that down here with the Temperance card, but I think it carries over. Not that it's related, but this idea of precision is back, because to have a long-standing affair, for those that did have that experience, that takes precision. That takes planning. You just can't, you know, carry on for months or years with another person and just do it willy-nilly. Like, it has to be, you know, don't call until then, or I'll send you this and that means do that. Like, you know, oh, for some of you, this, not that it's going to mean much, but like there's a lyric, I can't think of it, but it's in the song by Stevie Wonder, Part-Time Lover. Part-time lover. Da 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 da. It's like one of the lyrics in there, he talks about like calling the house and hanging up, and then she would know to call me back. Like, it's that type of secrecy. It's that type of planning that some of you were living through. And it's well known to you now, or you know it because you did it, whatever. Dirty business. But the reason I think I'm able to sort of talk about it kind of cavalierly, like I am right now, is because it's really, like, it's been known. Like, this was not recent. And if it is recent, I'm sorry, you're definitely deeper in the fields than this other group that I think I'm primarily connecting with, which is like, yeah, I know. You know, and some of you, it doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. Thank you. They're letting me, like, don't get into that. Okay, fine. So if it's not a third-party situation, although, of a romantic type. It can be a third party situation in terms of like energy or some other type of interjection, you know, best friends getting into your life and like causing trouble in your relationship, not trying to steal you from your partner or steal your partner away from you, but just like literally hating on your love life. It could be that kind of third party situation. Third party situation in terms of family, I did say like emancipation. So, and with what's right next to it, we could be talking about, you know, the court system, you know, what is that? What's that? Oh my God. Child Protective Services. There you go. CPS, right? Something like that. You know, some of you, ooh, that's dirty. Some of you may have relatives who really are out to get you, and they called CPS on you to get your kids taken away or have, you taken to court for something. And you honestly are an upstanding parent. You mean you have not harmed your children, you haven't neglected your children, but your psycho ass relative is out to get you. Like, maybe that's for like one of you. I would hope it's for none of you, but if it is, I hope it's like not many people. So there's just this pain that was interjected into your life. Whether you did it or someone did it to you is beyond the point. There's just this pain here that historically, okay. Perhaps some of you feel like you're in a pattern, or, you know, this situation went on for so long, you kind of like have your head spinning in it. You know what I mean? Like, for many of you, this is not some overnight thing. This is not something that has developed over the past few weeks. It could be, but for most of you, this Three of Swords is just like, it has been going on for a long time. Could be custody for those dealing with kids. Could be custody. You know, you divorced your partner, 5 years ago, but you guys have been going back and forth over custody for your kids that entire time. Like, custody hasn't been settled. So you could give a damn about the ex-partner. You could give a damn about them. It's just like, I want to have my kids with me, or I want more visitation with my children. And it's just like this back and forth. This is the spinning, the back and forth, cycles here. Some of you are experiencing this. It's like heartbreak again. Maybe you're chronically a cheater, or maybe you're chronically being cheated on by every person you date. And you're just like, how? Why am I always the one to break someone's heart? Or why am I always the one that gets my heart broken? And you're just like unsure of what the hell is going on here. So next to it, you got Justice, major arcana card for Libra, more air sign energy, and one of the other signs of duality, guys. Okay. And so of course you may be dealing with a Libra, but you do not have to be. So clearly with the imagery and the name, like I mentioned before, we could be dealing with legal systems, we could be dealing with judges and lawyers and, police reports and all that kind of stuff. And if you're dealing with any of that stuff, you have my condolences, because that is highly stressful, I am sure. But aside from the courts and all that kind of stuff, I feel that there's an issue here for you, Scorpio, of what is just, what is correct. And some of you feel like justice is on your side. Some of you feel like justice, it has its boot up your ass and, is doing a tap dance. Like you feel really, screwed off or screwed over, screwed over by the justice system, screwed over, if in your estimation, by karma or by God or the fates. Okay. You're feeling something is unfair that has been done to you, or some of you have a personal realization and you struggle with feeling that you are unfair. I'm not acting fair towards my partner, or I'm not acting fair towards this person that I have this connection with, that I want to be close to, but for whatever my personal reasons are, I'm just not there to act right, basically. Like, for some reason, I just can't act right, or I'm not going to act right. Some of you don't want to, others of you are like, I don't know why, it's a good deal, but I don't know why. Now, the other part of this, yes, I forget who I mentioned this for, or, oh God, it's been a week, guys, but this card came up earlier this week for somebody, and the imagery, because I'm not always going to say this, but that whole brain or mind being heavier than the heart, that's true for some of you guys. You're erring on the side of your head or your logic or your rationale. You're trying to be logical about something versus being heartfelt or heart heavy or heart forward, emotionally leaning in a situation. Okay, and so that could still tie into the court system. You know what I mean? Like some of you, in terms of the custody, perhaps you know logically, or you feel logically, your child or whoever deserves both parents in your life, in their life. Like, my kid is just as much his as they are mine. Logically, you know this. And so some of you are trying to convince yourself of that, but your heart is still very much a part of the picture. Like, this heart, like, is still significant. Your emotions are still significant. But there's this idea of the logic of the situation, or the decorum, what it says on paper, family psychologists and family studies have shown 2-parent households or 2-parent childhoods are much better for children than single parent and all that kind of stuff. And so some of you are like, based on the science, quote unquote, the science or the studies that have come out about this, it makes more sense that I try and co-parent with my ex-partner. But your heart is like, fuck that guy or fuck her. No way. Based on everything that happened between us, there's no way that is it petty? Are you being petty? Some of you might be being petty with that. Based on how they treated you, you don't want them in the child's life. But they're still a good parent to the kid. But you're like you're trying not to let that interaction between the two of you as adults interfere with how the other parent can interact with their child. Does that make sense? Other ways, logic. Some of you, the decision is still pending, right? Because I'm also getting, with that headpiece or that hairpiece or whatever on the skull there, which, I think is more aligned towards British court systems. But there's still a judgment to be made. Now, this is not the judgment card, but there is still a judgment pending. And so someone is dealing with, a judge or a mediator or whoever, or, just someone in your life. Like you're waiting for, the like a third, not a third, but like someone who can determine whether your project at work goes forward. I don't know who that would be, but there's some other person, some other entity that has yet to make a judgment on what can happen between you and this other person, or what steps you can make going forward. Like some of you are tied up. Okay. Put it down. Okay. All right. That would make sense. Some of you, romantic or not, because of this entanglement with the heartbroken, heartache, all that kind of stuff, there's still something that needs to be finalized regarding that portion of your life, whether it's actual dried ink on divorce papers or whether it's a total dissolvement of some previous relationship. Something isn't finalized yet, and that continues this heartache, and that might be what prevents you from this intense connection over here. Like, I can't be with you because I am sequestered because I'm in court. Or I can't be with you because, like, again, people who are like far away from each other. I can't travel out of the country because my finances are tied up, honey. I would love to come over to Germany and see you, or I would love to travel down to Brazil and spend, this vacation with you. But I'm broke. Legal fees are a bitch, So that is what's giving you this heartache, because your money, your time, your energy is so focused on something that has yet to be finalized, that has yet to have a judgment placed on it. You can't move forward. Here we go. 7 of Hazards, aka 7 of Pentacles. So that's that evaluation period. This is the, not stagnant, but like I said, evaluation, or things have yet to be truly discovered. Things have yet to be truly finalized. Things have yet to wrap up or ramp up and get on to the next phase. Seven of Pentacles, or like I said, 7 hazards in this deck, as you can see. This scientist is doing all kinds of experiments with that zombie lady. And he's, you know, crunching her. And it's not even a zombie lady. For some reason, I thought that thing on the top of the head was like a beehive hairdo. I think it's actually a male zombie, but it doesn't matter. Gathering intel, gathering data, you know, again, things just aren't completely finished. And there's this evaluation also of what have we done so far, you know, pick it back up, thank you. Because when you think of this scene, like, for me, I'm not thinking this is the scientist's first day working with zombies. Like, this isn't his first day on the job. Like, he's been going at this for weeks and months and maybe years doing this job. So he has previous information that he's basing his current experiment on. You know, okay, well, first trial, this didn't work. Second trial, this didn't work. Now we're on to trial 3, and here's what we're trying to do this time around. So there is this, for you, Scorpio, going over what you already know and making new determinations or making new game plans, right? Again, over top, you've got the 3 of Swords with the Justice thing. So again, some of you are having this revelation. I continually get into relationships where I get cheated on, or I continue to cheat on people, or, you know, you're going over that long-term affair. That shit lasted 8 years and I was married for 9? What? You're just like really retracing the history of something in order to gain new knowledge and figure out next best steps. Okay? Anything else with that? And because, again, we're with that dichotomy between the human and the zombie, maybe you're doing your research on the zombie partner up here in the Lover's card, whoever that might be. You know, maybe you're trying to learn new things about them. Like, again, this could be your kid or your best friend. It doesn't have to be a lover or romantic interest. But this could be someone you've known for a long time, and you're just like, okay, especially if it's your kid or someone, you know, close to you in your family. I've known this person since they were born. And you're tracking, like, each, you know, not year, but their progress as they get older. Maybe your kid is an adolescent or a teen or in their early 20s now. And you're trying to understand them. You know, that's the thing that this scientist is doing with the zombie. I'm trying to understand it. I'm trying to figure it out. For what intents and purposes, that's up for you to decide. But the scientist wants to know, what's going on? What makes this zombie tick? What makes my kid tick? What makes my lover tick? What's their deal? Okay? Outcome, Scorpio. Whoa. For June 2019 is the 7 of Cups. Here we go with the 7. No previous numbers, but you had 2, so I'm going to talk about it. And I don't normally talk about numbers in my readings, but as I grow as a reader, it becomes more significant. The 7 deals with spirituality. 7s deal with spirituality and, in my estimation, evolutions to spirituality or expansion of it. So this, having 2 of them, one being in your foundation and the other coming in your outcome. I think some of you are trying to learn or like have a bigger perspective, like a macro perspective instead of a micro perspective, okay? I'm not going to go too deep into that, but I think that applies for like a few of you. Now, 7 of Cups in terms of an outcome, not the best. Because I think we've talked a lot about what is potentially here. And okay, well that kind of falls into place then. 7 of Cups is about potential. What is potentially here? What are the options? What are the choices we have before us? Where can we go next? What pathway can we take? And often, and in your case, I'm going to say probably high likelihood of this, it's like, oh shit, what do I do? And there's like a panic or a restlessness in your mind or a aversion to the choice, to making the choice, to even looking over the choices. You're just like, no, I don't want to. And that kind of goes back to that 9 of Swords. Like, let me just go ahead and try to avoid the hard decisions or avoid the reality of my situation. So you're going to be faced with potentialities and choices. Do you want to choose One of them, two of them, three of them, who knows? But Scorpio, I feel you know what your some of you know what your choices are very clearly. Others of you are like, I have choice? What? I didn't know. Nobody told me. But for those where you know you have a choice, or you know you have choices and options, right? It's still not clear to you which one is the best one, because maybe you don't know what you want, or maybe you know what you want, but you don't know which choice will get you there. And it's just a tough spot to be in. Others of you still don't know you have choices. You're just like, huh? I can choose something. I can move something forward, or I can choose, you're kind of stunned or gobsmacked at the idea that you have a say in this, you have a dog in this. Well, you know you have a dog in the fight, but you don't know which dog you have. Are you fighting, is your dog a Chihuahua? Is your dog a Doberman? Is your dog a Husky? You don't know. So, like, super confusing, but ultimately, I think you believe the correct choice is out there, I think you're able to see which choices, this is for like how can I say it? Those that are further along in the track, or further along in the journey, or just on a different trajectory at all. But there's some of you out here, Scorpio, where some of these choices are awful, some of these choices are beneficial. And the struggle comes from maybe coming back here, back here, back here. Worthiness. Thank you. Worthiness. For someone out there, there's an issue of worthiness. I want the better choice. I want to make a good choice. I want to be happy, or I want to pursue something, or I want to do whatever. And you're dreaming, because again, it's cups, so emotions, and sometimes a little bit of fantasy or imagination, right? You can envision how this could lead to that, and then that could lead to the other thing, and then XYZ will happen, and then boom, happiness, fulfillment, money, success, whatever you want. But there's a disconnect with you somewhere that says, am I truly worthy of that? Well, from my estimation, Scorpio, if the choice is there, and if you can connect the dots and sort of broadcast or project yourself into a future and see, I could be successful, I could be happy, I could make money, I could do blah, 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 whatever you desire, and you can kind of trace it back to a choice you make today. Make the damn choice. Because the choice wouldn't be there if you weren't worthy. That's my personal estimation. The choice would not be there if you weren't worthy of it. The option wouldn't be available to you if you weren't worthy. Some of you think it's contingent on the other person. Well, they don't like me, or da-da-da. How many times? We talked a lot in the beginning, but let me go back and tell you. They want it just as much as you do. So if you think, they won't like my idea, they won't like me, or maybe it's too far gone, and we had an argument, or we fell out, or we stopped communicating, and da-da-da, and there's no chance. I'm letting you know, I feel this other person, because again, you guys were mirroring each other. And look, again, I'm not going to pick up each card, but you can rewind it. Two people, two hands. Two. Mutual. Mirrored, mutual. Some of you think this is not returned. This is not reciprocated. It is. And again, if you're the cross watcher, do apply this to yourself. But it wouldn't be a possibility if you weren't worthy. That's all. I feel that so strongly. It would not be a possibility if you were not worthy. If you were not respected, if you were not cared for, if you were not viewed to be interesting or worth investing with, or worth working alongside, or worth exploring a relationship, whatever the situation is, they value you. Okay? Somebody needs to hear that. Overall energy, and look who's back there, the Hermit. Wow. Interesting. Okay. Overall energy, Judgment. secondary card of Scorpio. So here you are in your secondary major arcana position, overseeing the entire thing. Judgment. This is down to you, or it's down to them, or it's down to whatever, but there needs to be, not needs to be, I shouldn't say that, but this whole reading concerns making judgment calls. Progressing forwards, progressing backwards. Moving left, moving right, okay? And like you see the artwork here, it's a bomb headed down to the ground where the zombie apocalypse is. A very destructive act to drop a bomb. But what's the purpose? What's the purpose of dropping a bomb in the middle of any hysterical apocalypse? So that we can start again. That's the one of the innate or traditional understandings of the judgment card is to call up from the dead, to bring back to life, right? So if we wipe out all the zombies with this big nuclear bomb, sure, it's not going to do so well for the planet, but hopefully it'll clear the field so that humanity can rise again, okay? So that's what's going on here. Thematically or overall is there's a chance for something huge to make contact with the ground, a little bit of a fallout or some fallout afterwards, got to let the dust settle, and then after that, we're able to get back to what we knew before or rebuild what we had previously. All right? Anything else? And that's the thing also, you know, I don't know who it's on, Scorpio, because your tendency towards reluctance is mirrored in the other person as well. But at some point, somebody's got to push the button. You see the man in the bubble there? And then you see the single digit hitting fire. Somebody has to push the red button. Somebody's got to decide to let that bomb fly. Now, I'm not trying to say that you should go out and make destructive actions or destructive choices. That's not what I'm saying. But there has to be some action put to the intentions, put towards the desire, okay? Someone has to push a button. Pick up the phone, my friend. Some of you, that's all it takes. Pick up the phone, boop. Ring, 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 hello? Hey, it's me, Scorpio. Or they call you, ring, 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 hello? Hey, it's me, the other person in Scorpio's reading. I'm calling to talk to Scorpio. Yeah. Or if you don't want to talk, text message. If you don't want to go that route, write a letter, write an email. I feel the touching of a button, because that's the other thing. When in that scene, I'm going to wrap this up really quick, guys, I swear. In this scene, the touching of the button comes from a safe place. This guy isn't outside where the bomb is going to fall. He's in a safe place. So some of you, while you're in your safe place, cuddled up on your couch, in your throw, in your flannel pajamas, here in that Nine of Swords energy, from the safety of wherever you've been hiding or wherever you've gone to recuperate, give someone a call, send them a text. Do something, you know, I'm not saying show up at their house or show up in their face, no, but, you know, just that act is enough to get the ball rolling in some cases, okay? Scorpio, we did it. That's your reading for June. If you liked it, there is a like button down below. It looks like that. Go ahead and hit it for me. If you want to leave a comment on the video, let me know how this resonated in your life. That would be amazing. If you want to share this across your social media platforms on my behalf, please do so. And of course, if you're not subscribed already and you keep coming back, or this is your first time, it doesn't matter. I would like you to subscribe if you guys want to see me again. You know, you'll get notified from YouTube when I upload. It'll be a fun time for all. And if you do any and all of those actions, guys, it really helps me stay afloat here in the channel. It gets my content circulating. It lets YouTube know you're having a good time. And it makes me feel good on the inside. So win-win for everybody, really. Anyway, if you want to help me out in any of those ways, that would be amazing. Scorpio, I'm going to be back in about a week and a half, 2 weeks with your mid-June reading. And at some point when the mood strikes me, I'm going to do a random, maybe I'll do a live, I don't know. Whatever. At some point in the future, I'll be compelled to do something because randoms And the live is not going to be planned. I feel it's just going to be like, I'm going to do it. Like, then I'll do it like an hour after that feeling hits me. So these are more planned. These are more like, I know I have to record. I know I have to do the monthlies and the mids. So it's a little bit of different energy, okay? All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really, really appreciate it. Take care.